Okay, Aiden writes, "Hi Jennifer, I would love to see a video on if you could be a princess again at Disney. What princess would you like to be friends with?" My parents were born and raised in Colombia, and then they immigrated here in like 1970. But I definitely grew up with Colombian heritage and feeling close to Colombia because of, you know, my parents and everything. So Encanto, the Disney movie that takes place in Colombia, of all countries, Disney chose Colombia. And so I was like, oh, you know, so I would want to be a character from that film. The music and everything, I could relate to it. It's between Mirabel and her sister Isabella. Isabella, because she looks to me so much like my cousin Cindy, who I grew up very close to. My cousin Cindy is darker complected than I am. They show like a wide variety of skin tones in the movie Encanto, from really light to really dark, and that is very true of Colombia, the country itself. There's so many different shades of Colombians. Like in America, you can't just say an American looks like this, so to speak, but I would say like the way I look, like my coloring is very stereotypical, but it's also the fact that she has to live up to perfection. When you are a Disney princess, there was the feeling that you have to live up to this image of perfection. In 2004 to 2009, when I was performing, you had casting that would come around and examine the girls and make sure that you were living up to the standard that Disney had. And so that was one of the things in character training, is you're not allowed to gain weight or they could fire you, you know. Or what I saw was one of my fellow friends with Princess Jasmine, weight gain. Instantly, you go in the fur costume for Pluto, and you better lose that weight. So I remember going to a party and everybody was like indulging in all the cake and everything, and I didn't, because I wanted to look a certain way for the role. And I mentioned that, like, because some other girl was like pushing me to eat the cake. She's like, you need to eat the cake, you need to eat the dessert. And I was like, no, for Princess Jasmine, you know, you have to maintain a certain look. And she was like, oh yeah, I could never do that job or whatever. In other words, like, you sacrifice. And to me, it wasn't a sacrifice. I was so happy performing that I was happy to say no to the cake. Like, the character outweighed the cake. Now, as the years went on, I was like, I don't know if this is worth it anymore. But anyway, also, like, my feet were really large. I had a size 10 shoe, and I'm 5'5.5". They didn't make the Princess Jasmine shoe in size 10. I used to have to go to the Prince Ali costume for Aladdin because he had a golden shoe the way Princess Jasmine's character had a golden shoe, and I would have to wear the Prince Ali shoes, the men's shoes, you know, or like my thumbs. I have a Megan Fox thumb. Feeling of insecurity of having to hide that because it doesn't live up to a princess standard. Some of you know that I've auditioned for commercials here in Orlando in Central Florida, and one of the things they make you do is show your hands. And ever since I was in 7th grade, I remember a girl telling me I had grandma hands. Anyway, they were really wrinkly even when I was in 7th grade, and she was like, you have grandma hands. And I don't know what it is about my genetics, but it's interesting because Megan Fox from Transformers didn't let her stumpy thumbs stop her from being Megan Fox. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was like, forget my thumbs. And so I think I need to take on more of that attitude. All this to say, Isabel had perfection things that she was supposed to live up to. And, you know, I was talking about physical things, but her character arc, she grew to find beauty in unconventional beauty, I guess, because she found the succulent plants, which was not like the roses, which are very prized in Colombia. I connected to that too, because my mom's always like, oh, the roses of Colombia. So I was really happy that Encanto featured the roses. She wasn't forced to marry that one guy, but she felt such a pressure to marry somebody who she didn't love. She was expected to marry somebody handsome, conventionally attractive, maybe not even so much the looks. It was just the expectation was that she was supposed to marry this guy because he was right, he was accepted by the family. And that is interesting that she chose not to marry him because on the outside he looks perfect. It's kind of like how we expect the princesses to marry a prince. And Princess Jasmine, the character that I had the very great honor of portraying at Disney, marries a street rat. You know, he's not worthy of a princess. And that's who she marries. She chooses somebody unconventional. I think in that way I connect to the Isabella. I'm sorry, why am I saying Isabel? It's been a few years since I have watched the Disney movies. I have been called a traitor by Amanda, if you're watching this. I've been called a Disney traitor because I haven't been as into Disney as some of you guys are probably even bigger Disney fans than I am. Shame on me. On the other hand, like, we've all loved Disney. We've all been obsessed, even if it was at certain points in our lives more so than others. I would also be just as happy portraying Mirabelle because of her glasses. I wear glasses and I don't really do it so much here on YouTube, maybe for aesthetics or whatever. See that Isabel wanting to live up to, you know, but then again, glasses are so cool too. I love my glasses. I have, if any of you have seen my Firmoo videos, I'm out there trying to sell glasses. So I relate to Mirabelle with the glasses thing and also a lot of her insecurities. But I hope that answers your question. The next question is from Vizak. Vizak, what's up? Something I was wondering, did you ever help Jasmine or Pocahontas film a commercial? It seems like every park commercial has a princess in it. I know, right? So once upon a time, I did help Princess Jasmine film a commercial in Norway. That day was a lunch dinner shift and I didn't know that I was going to be doing media that particular day. They told me when I walked in for my shift. The manager was like, look, you need to get ready. You're gonna be in some photo shoot for Tokyo Disney Sea. I was so jealous of everybody who got to go and work abroad in Tokyo Disney Sea. I knew a lot of Princess Jasmine performers who would come back and they would show me all of their pictures and how amazing it was. And see, the thing about Disney World here in Orlando is that it was, at the time, this was pre-Tiana days. Cinderella's castle, it was her world and we were just living in it. And I was the ethnic princess of the time and you really didn't see Princess Jasmine on a ton of merchandise, or if she was like a side, she was very much a side character and you knew it. And all of us knew our fandoms, like who had the biggest fan group, who had the smallest, and I hesitate to say who had the smallest. You knew by the way the guests treated you. They didn't care so much about you. They didn't want your autograph kind of thing. You were treated special if you were loved by the guests. And we all knew. When I would hear from the Princess Jasmines who had been to Tokyo Disney, they were like, oh, you'll be treated like a queen over there. You get the best clothes. And they would show you all of this stuff. And the Asian people appreciated Princess Jasmine in a way that the American guests just didn't. And maybe because Jasmine is closer to that region of the world. And so they had like a whole section at Tokyo Disney Sea for Jasmine in a way where she was respected and admired and appreciated in a way that Americans just didn't at the time. And so I was like, oh my gosh, they have that area, that section of Disney World, Tokyo Disney Sea for Jasmine. Oh, she's featured in the parade. What? Like, she's loved over there. And so I was like, I need to be over in Tokyo Disney Sea. Why am I out here in Orlando? You know, the grass is always greener syndrome. It did not surprise me that I was going to be performing Princess Jasmine for something that had to do with Tokyo Disney Sea. And for whatever reason, and it didn't make sense to me, like I didn't understand, did they have the Norway restaurant in Japan? Like, why was Princess Jasmine being made? Because what they did was they had created all of the Norwegian dishes that we used to eat here in America for Epcot, and they had them all on display around the restaurant, and I was supposed to come and pose in all my glory, like with the food, or all Princess Jasmine's glory. It was the character, but I was feeling like a celebrity kind of thing, you know. And anyway, promoting this food for Norway, and that was, I just remember being like, what? And Princess because she wore, you know, I didn't have a six-pack, which one of the Aladdins painfully let me know. He's like, why did you have a six-pack? So-and-so has a six-pack. Why is your abdominal area not more chiseled? And so, like, being really insecure about my waistline, taking photos with the food, you know, like, and so I just didn't understand. I'm like, Jasmine isn't really eating all this food. Why why is she taking pictures with all this food, promoting the food, like come dine at Epcot, Norway. But that was the job. And interestingly enough, Rachel Henkel, who I had filmed Confessions of a Retired Disney Princess with, was working that shift with me that day. But she was not called to go and be in the photo shoot. And I wanted so badly for her to be in this photo shoot with me. I was like, what, Rachel Henkel and I, we need to be featured together in a photo shoot. I don't understand. Because it was a big deal to like get to do media stuff. There was a lot of hubbub and to do surrounding it. And so I remember asking somebody in charge, like, can Snow White be in this photo shoot with me? And they were like, no. It's just Princess Jasmine. And I was like, oh. And I told Rachel, like, I tried to get you in the photo shoot. And she was like, it's okay. But it was, I'm not gonna lie, like, and hopefully she was fine with it, but like for me, it would have been painful. There was a little tinge of sadness when you watched somebody else get to go and perform and do something really cool, because I think when you worked at Disney World, you would see so many cool events and things going on that you wanted to be a part of it all. Like for me, I wanted to be in Cinderellabration on the stage wearing the wonderful tiara, and you know, it's a great memory to say I did that or whatever. Phantasmic, I never got to do those things. And so you really had to appreciate any cool thing that you got to do. And so I wanted Rachel to have that thing because she was an amazingly talented dancer, but because she was working at the spa, and we made a lot more money at the spa, I'm not gonna lie, like the tips and everything, like, and so she made a lot more money, so it just didn't make sense for her to go throw herself into character world. Anyways, the point is that I really wanted her to be in there and she didn't get to, and I was very honored to be able to do that, and I understood what it meant emotionally because I knew how I felt when I would see others getting to do those special things. But that was the only special event media-wise where I was getting cameras and lights and action. It was like a professional, amazing photo shoot, a lot of hubbub and to do around it. And that was the only thing I got to do. And I never did get to see the photos from that promotion. And if anybody has pictures of Jasmine with a bunch of food, like Norwegian food, please send it to me on a DM and be like, is this you? Is this you posing with all the food? I took those photos like 2008, I wanna say, so it's been nearly 20 years, but maybe they're out there somewhere. Maybe they're on a poster in Tokyo Disney around a restaurant somewhere. And the last question is by Heavenly One. When I worked at Disneyland, we had an unofficial verbal list of good and bad celebrities that cast members would educate new hires on. Basically, if they were on the good list, you could feel free to interact with them normally because they were good people. But if they were on the bad list, it was advisable to limit interactions because they were generally horrible. LOL. People on the top of the good list and bad list usually come with stories attached of either how great or how awful the interactions were. Did you have the same thing at Walt Disney World? And Heavenly One, please remind me what department you worked in Disneyland. I'm very curious to know. And it does not surprise me, especially because you guys were on the California side where you would probably, a lot of celebrities probably went more often. We definitely had a lot of celebrities that came through Disney World. I will say, working in Disney Entertainment, and so that's why I'm asking which department you worked in, because mind you, John Stamos like came up to my line one time and he himself did not get in line, but his nephew or niece or somebody did come in line and take a picture with the Aladdin and I performing. He, however, stayed outside the line with glasses and a hat, and the only reason I knew he was there was because I guess a couple of people were reacting to him, but also the guest relations person was escorting his family around. But usually when I would hear secondhand from like the Cinderellas or the Auroras, because the celebrities would usually go to those characters. Again, Jasmine was less loved, I guess. We performers saw celebrities through a different dynamic than regular cast members would meet celebrities, because if you were with a celebrity as your character, there was a level of I'm performing, you're not meeting Jennifer Oaks, you are meeting Princess Jasmine. And so the way that they act towards Princess Jasmine is not gonna be the way that they react to somebody else who is not in character. It's a fake interaction. It's like an imaginary, like you're not a real person. So we didn't really get to meet the celebrity in that, in like so that changes the dynamics of the relationship. So they're not gonna be mean to Princess Jasmine, but they'll be mean to somebody else who is their tour guide, who is not doing things fast enough, you know. But with a celebrity, they are usually there with their children. And so it's really, and that creates another barrier. It's just like a regular guest. Are you treating my child right? Are you giving my child the magical experience that they want to receive? That's what the celebrity is more caring about. Or they just want a picture with Mickey Mouse, you know, and they're gonna be nice to Mickey Mouse. But if you're a real human being, like a fast food worker, they might treat you different, like, where's my food? And so that's why I would say I don't remember any list like that. However, I would ask people who did work with them, like in cosmetology or whatever, and I would hear terrible stories. And I won't name the names of the celebrities, because even though it would be fun to name drop and throw people under the bus, I don't want a clip to go viral of me talking trash about somebody and then they're like, what? I never did that. It's like, well, that was our memory of you kind of thing anyways. But yeah, they would be like, no, you're not doing my makeup, which I can understand. I actually didn't care for the way some of the cosmetology did makeup. I don't remember being specifically rude to them about it though, or maybe I was, in the fact that I didn't comply, or I would go back to my break room and redo my makeup, I guess. But the celebrities were very like, no, you're not laying a finger on me. And so it would come off as very rude or arrogant to our cosmetology workers. I will also say I worked at the spa and we did encounter celebrities at the spa, and I was not in costume. Usually the celebrities did not come to me though, because I was a facialist, and so they didn't trust their face with just some random no-name girl. But they would get massages from the massage therapists. And that's where I heard the horror stories about how you weren't allowed to look them in the eye, or they'd be like wearing their shades in a dark hallway in our spa because the spa lights were dim. So I remember seeing this one actor from Ocean's 11, whose name I will not mention, but he was like wearing dark glasses in a dark hallway. And I was like, really? I don't even care who you are. Like, why do you think that you need to wear those dark glasses I don't know, maybe it just didn't make sense to me, and it just felt like he was trying to scream, I'm important. Whether he was or not, I've never seen another guest wear dark glasses down a hallway like that. And then there was another lady who was like, you better make sure nobody talks to me. I remember thinking, nobody even likes you. This one lady on one of the talk shows, that was a morning talk show, and I was like, you're not even popular. Like, so, but she acted extremely arrogant, and that was weird to me. But a lot of celebrities who I know you guys care about and love, who did not tip. And that was really disheartening, because I really liked them, and I was like, but why don't they tip? Why? Like, Disney would bring some of these people to Disney World for free, and I think they thought the massage therapy visit was free, but Disney didn't tip us. Like, nobody tipped. We were just supposed to do it as a favor without tip. And so that was frustrating, I think. But one person who I will name drop that we met that went above and beyond to be so nice to everybody at the Disney World Spa was Paula Abdul from the 1980s, which nobody today knows who she is. But I know who she is because I grew up watching her 80s music and her early 90s music. You know, she was on American Idol and everything, and I love Paula Abdul. And it was back during that time when American Idol was really popular, and went out of her way to hug everybody. Not that a celebrity has to do that. I don't think that was ever the expectation, but because she was so happy to be around people who admired her work in media, I just want to give honorable mention to her. So anyways, I hope that you liked this Q&A Please like this video if you liked it. Share this video with anyone who you think might find this interesting. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. Comment below questions that you want me to answer concerning Disney entertainment and character world, and I can tell you from my experience. And I hope you're having a great week, and I will catch you in another video. Bye everyone.